Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Islam's presence in Italy stretches back over 13 centuries, starting with the arrival of Arab forces led by Asad ibn al-Furat on the Sicilian coast in June 827, which led to the conquest of significant parts of what is now southern Italy. This initial phase of Islamic history in Italy concluded between the late 12th and early 13th centuries due to popular uprisings, Norman troops, and the efforts of Frederick II, which drove the Arabs from the region. The second phase of Islam's history in Italy began in the 1980s, marked by an unprecedented influx of Muslim immigrants into the country. According to CESNUR, there are about 1.67 million foreign Muslims and 493,000 Italian Muslims, making up 3.6% of the population. The 2012 Global Religious Landscape Survey by the Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life found that 83.3% of Italians are Christian, 12.4% are irreligious, atheist, or agnostic, 3.7% are Muslim, and 0.6% belong to other religions. By 2020, there were 1,327,931 Muslims in Italy, representing 2.1% of the total population of 63,234,805. While most of these Muslims are foreign nationals, about 1 million are Italian by birth or naturalization. Despite the centuries-long interactions between Italy and Islam, the significant presence of Muslims in Italian society is a relatively recent phenomenon stemming from migratory flows. When comparing the Muslim community in Italy to those in other European countries, several observations can be made. Unlike many European countries, which have received Muslim immigrants primarily from nations with which they have historical ties, Italy's Muslim community is notably diverse in terms of the countries of origin of its members. Most Muslims in Italy come from countries with no historical connections to Italy. Only a small percentage of Muslims in Italy come from former Italian colonies in the Muslim world, such as Libya, Somalia, and Eritrea. The largest groups of Muslim immigrants in Italy are from Morocco, 28.5%, and Albania, 20.5%. Although almost all Italian Muslims are Sunni, the diversity in the countries of origin of other Muslims in Italy, including those from Tunisia, Senegal, Egypt, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Algeria, Albania, Morocco, Bosnia, and Nigeria, contributes to a very heterogeneous community. This diversity makes it far from being a single unified community, except in the aspect of sectarian homogeneity. In Italy, the majority of Islamic associations adhere to Sunni ideology, which constitutes 95% of the Muslim population. On the other hand, the Shia Muslims form a very small portion and are dispersed throughout the country. There are also some Sufi groups, representing the mystical branch of Islam, but they are somewhat distinct from the traditional interpretation of the faith. Focusing on Sunni Islam, the Centro Islamico Culturale d'Italia, CCC, is the only Islamic institution recognized by the Italian state. Established in 1966, its board of directors comprises official representatives from Arab states. One of its most notable projects has been the construction of the Mosque of Monte Antena in Rome, which was approved by the Vatican and funded by Saudi Arabia. Turning to the Shia community, although they represent a minority in Italy, there are two significant organizations. These are the Associazione Imam Mahdi in Rome and the Associazione al-Bayt in Naples, both of which follow the examples set by Khomeini and Hezbollah. The Associazione Imam Mahdi was officially established in 2005 in Rome, initially without a designated location for meetings and prayers. It wasn't until 2018 that they were able to purchase a building for their Islamic center, thanks to the funds and contributions collected from Shia communities worldwide. The current president is Abbas Damiano di Palma, who is the first Italian Hujjatul Islam. The Associazione al-Bayt was founded by an Italian convert, Luigi Amar de Martino, and maintains significant connections with Iran within the Arab world. This organization organizes conferences across various Italian cities to spread knowledge about Shiism and the figure of Imam Khomeini. Additionally, it maintains close ties with the Al-Bayt World Assembly, a Shiite NGO established in 1990. In Italy, 1 in 3 migrants is Muslim, accounting for nearly 2.1% of the population, a figure expected to more than double by 2030. On a European scale, Italy ranks 8th in terms of the number of Muslims. Research by ISMU indicates that the number of foreign Muslim residents in Italy increased by 127,000 in 2019, while the number of Christians decreased by 145,000. These statistics suggest that if radicalization is closely linked to the percentage of Muslims in various countries, this issue is unlikely to diminish in the coming years. Italy, which hosts Europe's 8th largest Muslim population, is grappling with a mosque shortage. In comparison, France, with a Muslim population 3 to 4 times larger than Italy's, has 2,200 mosques, and the UK, with about twice as many Muslims as Italy, has 1,500 mosques. In addition to these mosques, there are about 800 cultural centers and musalla, which are informal prayer rooms often located in garages, basements, and warehouses. These spaces serve as places of worship and as cultural and educational meeting points, according to Maria Bombardieri, a social science researcher at the University of Padua and the author of Mosques of Italy. One of the oldest Muslim organizations in Italy is the Islamic Cultural Center in Rome, which operates out of Rome's Grand Mosque, the largest in Europe. The Grand Mosque is a prime example of institutional Islam, built over 20 years with funds from various Muslim countries. Ambassadors from the major contributing countries sit on the mosque's board, with Saudi Arabia and Morocco holding prominent positions as the largest donors. Mario Scialoia, a former Italian ambassador to Saudi Arabia and a convert to Islam, plays a significant role in the mosque's relations with the Italian state. Despite its resources and ambitions, the Grand Mosque's geographic limitation to the Rome area and its close ties to foreign governments prevent it from being a nationally representative Muslim organization. In 2016, the Minister of Interior, Alfano, stated that Italy has 1,205 Islamic centers, including 4 mosques, 858 places of worship, mostly prayer rooms, and 343 cultural organizations. These are mostly located in Lombardia, Emilia-Romagna, Veneto, and Lazio, reflecting the geographical distribution of Muslims in Italy. By 2019, the number of officially recognized mosques by both regional authorities and Islamic religious authorities had risen to 5, located in Ravenna, Colle Valdelsa, Milano, and Forlì. These official mosques are architecturally distinct with a dome and a minaret. The wave of immigration began in the 1970s and 1980s, and the number of Muslims choosing to settle permanently in Italy has increased steadily. In 1971, there were 121,115 foreigners in Italy, a number that had doubled from the previous decade. This rise in immigration paralleled the growth of the Italian labor market, which increasingly needed a workforce. Over time, family reunification of these immigrants triggered a second wave of immigration. Even then, immigrants from Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria were among the most numerous. However, the real and continuous increase in migratory flow began in the 1990s, with the proportion of immigrants in the Italian population rising from 0.6% in 1991 to 2.3% in 2001. The Muslim community in Italy is divided into 2 main groups: those who have distanced themselves from religious practices and those who have become more conservative in reaction to the non-Muslim environment. The latter group includes not only Muslims by birth, but also Italians who have converted to Islam. By 2019, there were approximately 100,000 Italian converts to Islam, a number that has significantly increased over the past decade and is expected to continue growing. An analysis by MIUR, Italian Ministry of Education, University, and Research, of students in Italy during the 2017-2018 academic year revealed that out of 8,664,000 students, 842,000 did not have Italian citizenship, with most being second-generation foreigners. Among these students, there were 114,000 Albanians, 103,000 Moroccans, 23,000 Egyptians, and 20,000 Pakistanis. The past century has transformed Italy into a multicultural country where various cultures, ethnicities, and religions coexist. Today, Italy has a significant and growing Muslim population, largely due to immigration from various countries. The strategic location of the Italian peninsula in the Mediterranean Sea, acting as a bridge to other European countries, has facilitated this influx. While mosques represent the macro scenario of Islamic presence in Italy, Islamic centers play a fundamental role within this category. Beyond religious activities, these centers offer educational and cultural projects, such as Quranic schools, conferences, and Arabic language teaching. They have also facilitated the establishment of numerous Islamic organizations. Two smaller organizations, Qureus, Islamic Religious Community, and AMI, Italian Muslim Association, aim to become representatives of the Muslim community to the state. Both organizations promote a moderate and progressive interpretation of Islam, but consist of only a few members, many of whom are Italian converts. An even smaller organization is UMI, Italian Muslim Union, which has gained media attention due to the provocative statements of its leader, Italian convert Adel Smith. The presence of converts at the helm of several Italian Muslim organizations may be due to the fact that few Muslim immigrants have Italian citizenship and face challenges in handling the legal and bureaucratic responsibilities of leading an organization. However, many Muslim immigrants do not feel adequately represented by Italian converts, and this overrepresentation of converts could be seen as a reason for the lack of legitimacy of most Muslim organizations. In Italy, numerous minor entities contribute to the landscape of organized Islam. Many operate independently at the local level, while others, such as the Moroccan Association of Italy, have a nationwide presence, but are based more on ethnicity than religion. Sufi orders and brotherhoods also exist, typically in small groups of Italian converts or communities like the Senegalese or Turkish. Additionally, a variety of unaffiliated makeshift mosques, often little more than garages or abandoned country houses, add to the panorama of Italian Islam. The predominance of UKOII, Union of Islamic Communities in Italy, at the organizational level, significantly affects the relationship between the Italian state and the Muslim community, as well as the legal recognition of Islam, a source of major political controversies. According to the Italian Constitution, Article 19, all citizens have the right to freely practice and proselytize any religion, provided its rights are not against morality. All religions are free to organize themselves, and their relationship with the state is regulated by law based on agreements signed with the state's representatives of each religious community. Article 8. The Catholic religion enjoys a separate and privileged treatment, negotiated by the Vatican and the Italian state in 1929 and incorporated into the Republican Constitution of 1948. To be recognized and receive similar legal and financial benefits as the Catholic religion, other religions must sign an agreement, known in Italian as intesa, with the government, which regulates mutual rights and obligations. Over the past 25 years, various religious communities, including Jewish, Protestant, and Buddhist groups, have signed such agreements. Even small churches, like the Adventists and the Assemblies of God, with only a few thousand members, have managed to secure an intesa. However, Islam, which is de facto the country's second largest religion, if not among Italian citizens, unquestionably among individuals living in the country, has not yet been recognized by the Italian state as a religion. While opposition from certain political forces has occasionally interfered with the process, the primary reason for this paradoxical situation is the lack of unified leadership within the Italian Muslim community. Since 2001, with increased attention on Islam, Italian authorities have sought new solutions. Although the Intesa formal agreement was still deemed premature, then Interior Minister Giuseppe Pisanu took proactive steps in 2004 to foster unified leadership within the Muslim community. After months of intense consultations and research, the Consulta per l'Islam Italiano, Council for Italian Islam, was established in late 2005. This advisory body, composed of 16 members of the Muslim community selected by the Ministry of Interiors, is tasked with researching and advising the ministry on issues involving the Muslim community. Its goals include developing dialogue between the Italian government and the Muslim community and promoting their harmonious integration into Italian society. The Consulta meets at least 3 times a year, or when convened by the Minister of Interiors, working on an agenda set by the minister. In 2023, local media reported that the right-wing coalition party led by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni drafted a bill to ban Muslim places of worship other than mosques. Proposed by the Brothers of Italy, FDI party, the bill aims to prohibit using garages and industrial warehouses as mosques, according to the Daily 24 Ore. Cultural and religious organizations that have not signed an agreement with the Italian state would be barred from using properties as places of worship. Since Italy's Muslim community has not signed any such agreement, this bill faced opposition from lawmakers in Parliament's Environment Committee, who argued that it would restrict religious freedom. Sami Salem, the imam at the Magliana Mosque in Rome, stated that it is a bill that clearly discriminates against Muslims and does not respect the Italian constitution that protects all citizens living in Italy. Izzedine El-Zir, another imam from the Muslim community in Florence, also expressed concerns about the legality of the draft law. In this video, we've explored the rich tapestry of Islam in Italy, tracing its history, growth, and cultural impact. From the early waves of immigration to the vibrant Muslim communities thriving across the country today, the story of Islam in Italy is one of resilience, diversity, and contribution. As we conclude our journey, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on Islamic history, culture, and contemporary issues. Your support helps us continue our exploration of the fascinating intersections of faith, culture, and society. Subscribe now to stay updated with our latest videos and join us in celebrating the diverse heritage of Islam in Italy and beyond. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.